All right, so you mentioned when you moved into the apartment, the money, you're probably around the 2 to 4 thousand range. When Fortnite started, you just got married, you just moved in. How much were you making around that time before you really went into Fortnite?
Probably like four to five, 4 to 6. There was actually even like a moment before Fortnite came out where there was like a dip in the revenue. So like maybe 4 to 5, 4 to 6, down to maybe like 3 to 4. And my wife at the time was working, like she was doing some office job here in Austin. So both of us combined, like we were okay. But there was like in the back of my mind, I was thinking like about the sustainability. Like, I can't be doing this forever. Like I'm thinking like, what am I doing when I'm 40? Am I still playing like Elder Scrolls Online or For Honor? And is there even an audience for that at that moment? And what happens if like the audience for those games, for these small games, do disappear? Like what's next? So there was like a dip in viewership leading into Fortnite's launch.
Okay.
And I think that like pushed me to be like, listen, when I played Fortnite, right? I played it for the first time. Wasn't sure if I liked it, but like there was some potential there. Like I'm like, this is a new kind of game. I had tried battle royales before. I tried PUBG, tried H1Z1. Didn't really get into those games that much. Not sure if I didn't get into them because I just wasn't good at them, or because I was worried about the viewership dropping. Because the viewership would always drop when I would try something different.
Yeah.
But with Fortnite, I was like, hey, this is a new game, new concept. They added this building mechanic into battle royale, so it's a different kind of battle royale. I hated getting shot in the open and not being able to survive, but this game kind of addresses that a little bit with building. So the past few months has been kind of like stale. I'm not really growing. The game I was playing For Honor just was kind of like dying out a little bit. I even went back to Elder Scrolls Online, so I was like regressing a little bit in my head.
Okay.
Went back to Elder Scrolls Online because there was more viewers there for me than For Honor. But still, at that moment, I was like, am I going to be stuck playing this game forever? Like, no. Fortnite's out. It's early. Early adopters come in all the time, and like they can really lead where a game is going and who the faces of the game are. Let me try my hand at Fortnite. So there was a moment where I decided I was doing Fortnite and Elder Scrolls Online at the same time. I just dropped Elder Scrolls Online and I started streaming at 6 a.m. every day. So I'd get up at like 5:30. I'd be live by 6 a.m. Why 6 a.m.? Because I wasn't going anywhere playing Fortnite casually, and I wasn't getting any new viewers. It was just like I would have Elder Scrolls viewers. I'd go from 400, swap to Fortnite, and by the time I'm like an hour into Fortnite, it would drop to 100, right? So I'm like, and then nobody new is coming in because I'm streaming prime time. Ninja's live with like 50K viewers. Myth has a few thousand. There's a lot of CDN the third. All those guys are live when I'm streaming the game, and my stream is way down the list. You have to go several pages to get to my stream. Nobody new is coming in. I remember clear as day. There was a full month where I streamed almost every day, and it was like, Elder Scrolls and Fortnite or whatever. And I think I had gained like 30 new followers.
Wow.
And that's almost zero growth, especially at the time of where my channel was at. Early on, that's obviously, any new follower is fantastic. But I'm like, no, I got to do something different. So it was actually one of my brothers who suggested to start streaming early in the morning. So I took his advice. My brothers wanted to see me win. They were doing school and normal stuff, but they wanted to see me win and succeed. So they were always like thinking about like what they could do to help in that way. So he suggested I stream early. So it's 6 in the morning. I still managed to get maybe 80 or 100 viewers. But at that moment, I'm no longer several pages down. I'm just at the bottom of the first page.
Okay.
So there's people with thousands of viewers. But if you go to the very bottom of the first page, I'm there with 100. And that made a big difference because that first month of me doing that, which was December 2017, I had gained a few thousand new followers that were all Fortnite followers. Okay. So at least now there's growth, and I'm like, okay, I can build off of this. Leading into January, I'm thinking, what do I do more to get my name out there? Because now it's like 150 viewers, maybe 200 viewers, and in Fortnite there was always these viral clips. Ninja had a viral clip where he trapped the last player with some zaps. Yeah. There was also like some impulse plays and cool snipes and like the rocket riding. There was these viral clips that people were kind of blowing up off of or getting more attention to their stream because of those clips and moments. And you remember those videos like top Fortnite moments of the week, things like that. Those were popping. Like those were hundreds of thousands, millions of people were tuning in and watching that. So I was like thinking like, what do I do? What's the next move? Fortnite added a new item. They added a launch pad. But before that, they added like the impulse and a few other things, and people created like some crazy moments. But I'm like, this launch pad, you can't kill anybody with it. Like it's just used for mobility. So how do I create a viral moment with this new item? And I'm literally thinking about this in the shower. I'm thinking about this 24/7.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? My initial thought was, you launch them, and then like they hit their head on a floor piece, and then they end up falling to their death. And I go in game and I test it. I'm like, oh, there's no fall damage. Even if you hit your head on the top of the floor, it cancels the redeploy, but they don't die. I'm like, there's got to be something else. So I'm like, what if they jump and they get sent into like a box with traps? And I'm like, but they could potentially avoid it. And I'm like, wait, what if you put the launch pad and you put the traps in a tower at the top where they don't see it? So when they hit the launch, they end up forcefully like being launched up into the spikes. So I did that. I envisioned it, thought about it, got on stream, pulled it off once, pulled it off again as a solo, and without me even posting those clips, people posted them on Facebook. It ended up in clip compilations, and fortunately for me, a lot of people who were posting them, like they did give credit on those clips.
Wow.
And the very next day, I went from like a couple hundred viewers to like 500-600. I'm like, all these people are tuning in. They're like, do the trap kill.
God. Wow. I did not know I didn't know that was from you.
So the trap tower,
Wow.
like I created it. Like there's no clips. I haven't even seen a single clip of anybody doing the trap tower, even after I created it. But like, there was no clips of people doing it before. And I did it like that first week that they added the launch pad.
Wow.
So it was my original creation. It went viral, and it helped me really boost myself in the Fortnite directory. Few hundred new average viewers, and I was able to kind of keep that momentum going into like 1,000 average viewers.
Man, there's just so much there. There's so many lessons out of that. Like even that move, I'm just thinking from your perspective, you just got married. So there's like extra stress. Like you got to provide now for someone else. You're in your own place. You just said that your audience already dipped. And like that's such an uncomfortable push. Yeah. And I just think it's like that. It just shows you had a lot of confidence in yourself and you kept going until something worked. Yeah. Which is like, it's very, very like impressive. Even that, like you realize I need something, right? It's just smart to look around what's working. You see clips are going viral. Like it's just like a good lesson in like, you cannot keep doing the same thing, being complacent and just like expect that you deserve the viewership. Exactly. Like that, it's really cool to see how like, the thought process from you. Like you were very calculated and you're thinking, what else can I do? And you're waking up at 6 a.m. Like you're changing, you're changing everything until something's stuck. It's really, really like that's a very. I don't even know if you realize how many gems you just dropped in that.
I mean, I think what people need to really take from that, just like you said, is that you can't brute force your way into it, because I could have kept streaming every day during prime time with 100 viewers and not gained any followers. Yeah. Like it would have been 6 months, a year. The prime of Fortnite is like passing by and I'm still like nowhere to be seen. I had to make those changes and I had to be very thoughtful about it and strategic. And that doesn't always show. People think it's a spur of the moment. Like, no, like there was some strategy involved. Yeah. Sure, you do have to put in hours. And sometimes you are just, hammering a brick wall until it falls over. But like, you have to have the hammer in your hand. If you're just punching it, you're just gonna you're gonna injure your hand. You're not. You have to have the tool and the strategy to break through it. And then just to add like a little bit more context with the trap tower in specific, in case we don't talk about it later on, it eventually became a toy that they created the trap tower and they were selling it in Walmart and Target across the world. Wow. And it's literally built in the exact way that I built it.
That's so crazy. Wait, Fortnite made it?
Yeah, Fortnite made it.
Wow, that's crazy.
I didn't make any money off it. Obviously, it's not my IP, so like they're free to do that. I thought it was very cool. And then when I got my Fortnite icon skin and I had my tournament for my skin, they were able to add an exotic item called the SypherPK Trap Tower, and it was like a throwable. You throw it at somebody, and then like the trap tower would just spawn on them, so it would just send them flying up.
That is so dope. That's such a cool story, man. That is like to look back now and like that struggle you went through, like you would never imagine something like that. You'd have not only your own skin, but they'd make that into an item. And again, like I was gonna ask you, but then you answered the question about like when it was Fortnite already popping at the time. You said Ninja had 50K viewers,
Yeah,
right?
these guys were already up there, and I
And
felt like pressure, like man, like I need to establish myself. I need to do something.
but also like that, like going against that is very intimidating. Like when you already see like for you to start streaming Fortnite, I mean, a lot of people like there's no way. There's already the ninjas and already the myths.
Yeah.
But like, look, I just think it's so inspiring. This guy has his own skin now. They made the trap tower, and you play with a ninja like every day. You
Yeah.
know, like you guys are like such good friends now. It's crazy. It's very inspiring, man. It's an amazing story. Their hard
you.
work is like coming through this building. Again, as another YouTuber, right? I already can tell. When I see you, I'm like, I can tell the amount of work this guy puts in. Again, some people look at things like it's so simple. Oh, he just plays Fortnite all day.
Yeah.
There may be people that look at you like that and think what you're doing is nothing. For someone like myself, you get inspired from other creators like Sypher when you're like, dude, the amount of output that you're doing is like insane. And we're gonna get straight to that. Clearly, everything changed after that moment, and I'm sure you just never stopped, right?
Yeah.
That's another thing. I always, I don't think I have anything special. When I joined FaZe, I wasn't the best trick shotter at all, right? I wasn't the best creator maybe at all. The one difference that I give myself out of the rest of the people in the history of FaZe, up until I became like a leader, was I just never stopped. Everybody else left.
I feel the same exact way. I
Yeah.
feel the same exact way with Fortnite. Like I didn't have. If you look at my charts and my stats on viewership, YouTube, everything, there wasn't like obviously past Fortnite it went up like crazy. But even if you zoom in and really dial in, and you see like, some of the other people who blew up, it was like they went from here to up here really, really fast. And they either maintained it and then slowly it went down, or they crashed out and it was too much and they just quit. But for me, it was just like a slow rise. And it's just like being so consistent and not leaving the game is what like allowed me to get to the front of the line, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's really consistency is key. Like that's a phrase for a reason. I know it's generic and you always hear it, but dude, like I know if I ever I would have definitely, if I stopped at some point, I would have never went as far as I did with FaZe. And I mean, I think you definitely have skill. You're very good at Fortnite also. And you're obviously very entertaining. But again, you would have never probably honed in on your skills and reached the place you did if you did stop. So that's a really cool story, very inspiring. And obviously, the rest is history with Fortnite. Everything went crazy since then. And you've just, we'll get to it a little bit. Even in the hard eras of Fortnite, you still kept going, which I want to get to later. But I guess today, right, again, as a creator, looking at another creator, I see you have, look on the wall behind me. I don't even know how many channels. These are all, mil plaques and 100K plaques, but you have like at least 3 YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Right? And you're
3 that I consistently upload on now.
So 3 consistent YouTube channels. You're streaming every day. You have TikTok. I see you making short form content too.
Yeah.
It's not just clipped. Like you're recording short form content. So can you break down all the content you do?
So I used to stream every day. Now it's about like 5 times a week. But I pretty much make content almost every day. Maybe one day a week. I try to take off. It's a little bit harder just to mentally shut off, but I try. I would say YouTube ad revenue is like the biggest thing. Yeah, it's the biggest. Okay. We're just massive on YouTube. Like if you look at the numbers, last month we had our biggest month on the main channel, 320 million views.
Wow, that's across long form
and short form.
Okay.
And we do upload a lot of shorts, but we do also have a lot of videos that we actually, this whole year, I think we might have had 1, maybe 2 videos that got under 1 million views. So on our long form, we upload 3 to 4 a week.
If you don't mind sharing, what is something like that? What's a paycheck like that from YouTube? 300 million views. Obviously, short form pays a little less than long form.
Yeah. So I'll say we've had a lot of big months like that across our channels. Like I would say across our 3 channels, there's been a good amount of months where the revenue from just like YouTube ad revenue is like over $1 million.
Okay.
As a company with everything with Twitch, so just to break down like the different revenue streams, we have YouTube, AdSense, ad revenue. We have Twitch live streaming. I now also live stream on YouTube and Twitch. So let's just say the live streaming is just across the board, or live stream on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. I triple stream, right? Mm-hmm. That's been a big game changer for me, by the way, because I have literally quadrupled my live audience as a result. YouTube, even my YouTube audience is the biggest audience, and I wasn't able to stream on YouTube because I was under a exclusive contract with Twitch.
Wow. Okay. That it's very interesting. 'Cause a lot of streamers are doing this multi-streaming.
Yeah.
I think historically streamers were scared that it will take away from their viewership. But you're saying you're quadrupled from streaming.
Yeah. So like let's say like my average viewers on Twitch is anywhere from like 3 to 6K. On YouTube, it's like 6 to 10. And then TikTok has the most variance, but it'll usually be around like 1, sometimes up to 5. So and my Twitch audience has not shifted. It's just like now I'm bringing in the YouTube audience and the TikTok audience into the live stream.
It's really cool.
Not every streamer can multi-stream because it depends on the kind of content you do.
Okay.
People are usually tuned in. They're watching me play Fortnite. They're watching me create content on Fortnite. They're watching me play with other Fortnite creators. So it's a spectacle. There is some interaction.
Yeah.
There's always interaction. But some streamers are a lot more hands-on with their community. They're going back and forth. If they're doing just chatting, like the chat experience needs to be unified.
Yeah.
So it's harder for them to multi-stream effectively.
Makes sense.
Whereas like if you're like a gaming content creator, I think it's a little bit easier. Okay. And depending on the type of relationship you have with your audience, like for me, it was seamless. I just plugged in YouTube and TikTok, and now all of a sudden, instead of having like 3 to 5K viewers, I now have like 15 to 20K combined viewers. Like it's just like overnight. Basically, that's what happened.
So Twitch is the second biggest revenue stream, you think? Or sorry, streaming, not just Twitch. You just mentioned, but
yeah, I guess no. I would say the second biggest is sponsorships. So that's the thing. That's one of the benefits for Oni Studios. I like in 2022, I think we announced that like I did like 54 unique sponsorships, unique brands, and we're not talking like small brands. We're talking like Nike, partnerships with Fortnite, Lego. Like it's all big name brands that like I'm proud to work with. So we did 54 sponsorships, and the reason I'm able to do that as a content creator and not feel like it's overwhelming or taking over too much is my team handles like almost everything up until the finish line.
Okay.
They handle my agent handles the negotiation, obviously, but then just the concept planning, how to execute, most effective day. My team will make the graphic panel and everything, and really work with the sponsor to make it as seamless as possible. So I'm able to do that many sponsorships in a given year, and I feel like I do the most sponsors. Maybe not in terms of just like pure revenue from each sponsor. There's bigger streamers that might get like a bigger deal, and of course the gambling sponsors are way more lucrative. Wouldn't touch that, but I feel like unique sponsorships I have done like the most as a content creator.
And that's more than one a week. That's more than one a week. That's a lot.
We did 54 in 2022. I actually I don't keep track. That was just like a stat that we put out when we were like doing like a breakdown of that year. But yeah, there's a lot of sponsors. So I would say honestly, like it's like YouTube sponsors and then streaming are pretty close. Fortnite map creation is also pretty crazy. There's people making like 7 figures a month, like a few people making seven figures a month. A lot of people making 6 figures a month from map creation.
Yeah,
we're in the 6 figure a month range for that, and we're trying to build it up to be even bigger.
So you guys are currently making 6 figures a month profit in map making.
I wouldn't say like the thing is, making a map. Let's say we spent like 6 months once on a map, and it maybe made 100K. Like it was kind of a flop considering how much time we put into it.
That's very interesting. That's like,
yeah.
These numbers, because we see, they've shared the numbers that there was, like you said, like 10 people that made, or like 7 people that made $10 million.
Yeah.
Like obviously you see the outliers, but like, so we didn't even mention, but you have a Superjoy is what it's called, right?
Superjoy Studios. That's like basically a team within Oni that's just developers and map developers for map ideas that I have.
Like you just launched one recently. You've launched a bunch, but I was playing one. We laughed about it.
First person tilted. So Fortnite added a first person mode into creative. They launched their own first person experience. So we made like a Call of Duty spin-off, first person tilted towers, free for all. You get kill streaks, you pick loadouts, and right now when I'm recording this, it has just about 10,000 concurrent players. And that for us, that's a big success. That's it's the number one first person map.
That's awesome.
So it'll be that's going to be a big revenue driver for the map team.
So when I try to get into Fortnite content, as I mentioned earlier, I was looking into this map making. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
The numbers, I was asking some people, and it's like, from what I remember, it's like 1,000 concurrent viewers can make you like 10K a month. Can you break it down? There's a lot of different factors that add up into how much money comes for the map.
Yeah.
But like, can you give a baseline of players and the amount of time people spend on the map and how that translates into money?
Yeah. So the way it works is that you have concurrent players on your maps, and each player spends a certain amount of time. The longer a player is spending on your map, obviously the more value that, you're bringing to the game. But even goes a step further, because let's say you are bringing in a player from outside of Fortnite into Fortnite, or you're making people create a Fortnite account just to play your experience. That hasn't happened too much because a lot of the people on Fortnite Creative are just Fortnite players who want to have a different experience. But I'll give you a good example. You remember the Only Up hype? That game came out. It was $10 on Steam. Someone like recreated a Fortnite version of Only Up, and a lot of people who didn't want to spend the $10 on Steam to play the Only Up on Steam, they went and downloaded Fortnite, maybe even created a Fortnite account and went and played that person's map. So that is weighed a lot more than having somebody who already plays Fortnite play your map.
So Fortnite tracks all of that.
They track all of that. They reward people who are bringing people in, and I think there hasn't been a lot of maps that really brought people in because it's still all like Fortnite players. But eventually it's going to get to the point where people are creating really captivating experiences that players outside of Fortnite are going to be coming to rush to play it. Mm-hmm. It's not at that point yet, but I think in like 2 to 3 years, it could be there. And if anything, I do think, like, for example, my map that I just released, I think some Call of Duty players are probably giving it a shot because maybe they don't like the third person mode. They don't like building. My map is first person and it's not building. So maybe I'm bringing people in. I can see that eventually, like on my dashboard, I'll see how many new players signed up and played my map. But yeah, like 1,000 concurrent players, like it really can range from like $10,000 to $50,000 a month, depending on how long they're playing. Are they new? Are they returning? And how engaged are they with your map? Like, there's a lot of variables, but it's very lucrative. I think eventually it's going to spread out more. Like right now, there's like 7 people at the top, 8 people that do make like 7 figures a month from it. Mm-hmm. But I think as more developers come in, they'll probably end up adding like more monetization tools, like in-game purchases or whatever, to allow people to like, set themselves up for success in the space. Because right now it is like up and down. Like, there's a lot of trends that happen. Yeah. There's a lot of up and downs. It's a little bit harder to crack into the space. And even like myself, I have a big YouTube channel for Fortnite. It is a challenge to get people to commit and to get a map up there and consistently stay up top. Mm-hmm. It is a challenge. Even for seasoned developers, other YouTubers, it is a challenge. It's like there's a lot of randomness, but there's also a lot of trial and error. But I'm very passionate about it because it reminds me of the early YouTube days where I was experimenting with different ideas and video concepts. Mm-hmm. And I was very bad at making videos when I first. Everyone's very bad when they first start. Yeah. So it kind of reminds me now. I'm making some of those same like trial and errors where it's like, okay, I come up with an idea, like this sounds cool in my head, but maybe there's too much bias I'm putting into it because it's my idea. So I got to be a little bit more like humble about like, is my idea actually good, and like be willing to listen and see what the feedback is and make those adjustments. And I feel like we've gotten to the point now, Superjoy, it's like we're finding our stride. We've had a couple big successes in the past few months, and we have even more maps that we're launching. So it is a big part of our business. Mm. And I'm hoping eventually that part of our business becomes like the biggest part, because that part requires the least out of me. So it's a little bit of bias there, but like, because like the YouTube videos, I have to be on camera. Mm-hmm. I have to do everything, like not do everything, but I have to be present. But this, I can maybe come up with a concept or an idea or put the right people in place and fund it and make a profit. So
I think it's so eye-opening for a lot of people. Like, I think because it's Fortnite, a lot of people may write it off as it's just another thing in Fortnite. But I remember seeing the hype when they released UEFN. That's what it's called, right? And like, I get it now, and you just mentioned there's a handful of people making $1 million a month on this. And it's like, I was even at like a party for like some birthday party, and I met someone who was like into game development, and he didn't even know about it. And I was like, you should look into making Fortnite maps. I know some people may take that and just think, like it's just like a little kid thing. But like, no, people are like really undervaluing the opportunity there. And I was going to ask you, but you kind of answered it, that I feel like that may end up being the biggest piece of your guys' business in the future. There's like, I feel like the exponential growth of it. I mean, Fortnite, clearly there was a dark period, like you mentioned, that you stuck through, but it's amazing to see how they've continued to just stay on top. And they're you can tell they have no intention of stopping.
No,
the collaborations are one thing, but like the stuff they keep adding, it's just like, you know, it must be very, as a creator in Fortnite, as someone who runs all these businesses that are attached to kind of Fortnite, right? It must be very like relieving to see how much work they're putting in.
Dude, I am so grateful that I chose this game to be the
Yeah.
game that I put a lot of my effort into, because like it very easily could have fallen off after the first chapter and just kind of been okay. A couple years, it had its moment,